Hi, welcome to this video from Maths from Scratch. Now, this video is looking at how we use the column method for subtraction to subtract decimal numbers from each other. Okay, now the observant amongst you will realise this is also column method subtraction level 7. Well, it just so happens that this video is used for level 7 at the end of our how to do column method subtraction course from scratch. But you're here to work out to know how to subtract decimals from each other using the column method subtraction. Now, if you hear me referencing level 6, level 7, level 8 or previous levels, that's to do with videos that teach you the column method for subtraction itself from scratch. Okay, so if you're watching this video to subtract decimals and you realise you're a bit rusty, feel free to go and look those videos up to help you out there. And there's also an answer walkthrough video because there'll be some practice questions at the end for you to have a go at. So hopefully after watching this video you'll know how to subtract decimals from each other using the column method for subtraction. So in example 1 then, we've got 2, which is one of our integers, or a whole number, subtract 0.006. Now, it's a really common mistake is to put the 0.006 first because it's longer. It's kind of a natural instinct for us to do that when we're doing these. So what we've got to do is just think, remember, and this is a recap from level 1 also, is that the order of the numbers is important when we're dealing with subtraction. And it's the first number has to come first. So this is a 2. Now the thing that looks slightly odd about this is that this one's got 4 digits and this one's got 2. So before we do anything, we need to line these columns up in terms of place value. Okay, and this is the key when doing any column method subtraction or addition, is you've got to line up your digits in terms of place value. So we're going to start with the 2. Okay, so then that will be my units column. Now, if we write underneath this 0.006, there's actually no units in that number. So we need to kind of get these lined up. So there's no units there. Then there's a decimal point. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that this 2 is a decimal. Okay? And so to line up our columns, at the top here, we have to put some zeros. So it's probably easier to show than it is to explain. So I'm going to put 3 zeros next to the 2 there. And then I'm just going to line up the 0.006 underneath. Okay, and so you have to line up your numbers in terms of place value for this to work. Otherwise, you're going to get the wrong answer. And well, I don't know what you're going to end up with, but it won't be the right answer. So those are my straight lines there. Okay, put a subtract there if you wish. Some people put it there, but it don't matter. Right, and then we just continue as we would do before. So we just make sure we line up the decimal points. And when we're going to go through this, we just put a decimal point in our answer. So you can put it at the beginning if you want, or you can leave it till the end, it doesn't matter. And so now if you look, this is one of our chains that we need to set up. And if you're not sure what a chain is, or the way I explain it, you need to kind of look at level 6 and level 5, if this is still a bit unsure for you. So we're going to continue this chain. So we need to borrow, because obviously this number is smaller than the 6. So we're going to go all the way to the 2. Okay, so I'm just going to change my colour pen just so it's easier to see. Okay, so we're going to strike through this 2, and then that's going to reduce down to a 1. And then the number that I'm taking from there, I'm going to live next to that one. That's going to reduce to a 9, and then the 1 from there lives there. Reduce that one down to a 9, and then the 1 lives there. So then we've got 10 subtract 6, well that gives me 4, and now because of this chain that we've set up over here, we can now just continue through and continue this calculation. So 9 subtract 0 is 9, 9 subtract 0 is 9, decimal point lined up nice and neat, and if you notice, my decimal points and my columns are really straight. Common mistake is that you just don't pay attention to how neat your columns are, and then the question just looks really hard to read. And having marked maybe 26,000 exam papers, it's kind of annoying to mark, and also it'll make it easier for you when you line them up. Right, 1 subtract 0, well again that's 1, and so my answer to this one is going to be 1.0, no it's not, it's going to be 1.994. Okay, and then the takeaway from this is that you just need to line up your columns in terms of place value. And if you don't have any digits, you need to create them. Okay, so let's have a look at question number 2. So again, we're going to line these up. So we've got £14.67 subtract £3.42. Okay, so £14.67, and I'm going to subtract £3.42. That's the units, so I'll make sure I need to line up my units. Okay, draw the lines underneath. Again, I'm using these really straight, but as straight as you can get them, that would help. Okay, right, 7 take away 2, we can do that because 7's big enough, and that gives me an answer of 5. 6 take away 4 gives me an answer of 2. Line up my decimal points, there we are. 4 take away 3 is 1, and then 1 take away nothing. You can put a nothing there if you wish. 1 take away nothing is 1. And so the answer to that one is £11.25. Right. Question 3. £6, well, it's not a pound, is it? 6.1234, subtract 0.09. There we are. So get these lined up again. So 6.1234, take away 0.09. Right, so 0, that's my units. And it really does pay to just be mindful of how you're lining up your digits. 0.9, so that's that one because it's 9 hundredths. There we go. Lines underneath to keep our working out nice and straight. And then let's go ahead and answer this one. So again, now we've got nothing underneath here, so we could just leave that as nothing. 4 subtract nothing is 4. 3 subtract nothing is 3. And if you wish, you can put your zeros in to make it easier for you. 2 subtract 9, okay, we can't do that, so we're going to have to borrow from this one. So this borrowing, you see, it does happen in nearly every, in situations where you won't expect them, but you've watched the videos up to here, so you should be able to do it now. 12 subtract 9, okay, that gives me an answer of 3. 0 subtract 0 is nothing, and then 6 subtract nothing is 6. So that gives me 6.0334. Example 4, now I've got 5 examples for you. This is example number 4. Okay, so 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, well, otherwise known as 1010.29, subtract 36.19. Again, line these up. Okay, and then hopefully this should be making sense to you now. So 9 subtract 9 is nothing. 2 subtract 1 is 1. Line up your decimal points, okay? That makes me happy. Okay, and then we've got 0 take away 6. Again, we can't do, so we need to borrow. I've just hasn't left enough space, but we can get by. The 1 gets carried to that 0, makes this a 10. 10 subtract 6 is 4. Now, this is a 0, okay? So, excuse me, 0 subtract 3 we can't do. So this is where we're going to have to set up our little chain again, okay? So, this is from level 6. Can't borrow from this one. And the reason we're doing this is because this 0 is too small. So, we're going to borrow from this one. That's going to reduce to a 0. Then that 1 is going to carry to there. We're now going to borrow 1 from there, so that becomes a 9. And then the 1 lives next to this one. Now you can see this one's becoming a bit hard to see because I really did bunch these up. Okay, so it is easy just to write them together if you're not paying attention. It's just something to kind of bear in mind. 10 subtract 3 gives me 7. Okay, and then 9 subtract nothing is 9. And then 0 is 0 subtract 0 is nothing. So then it's 974.10. And then don't forget, you can write that as 974.1. They are the same thing, it doesn't matter. Cut out. Cut in, and then we're left with example number 5, 0.09 subtract 0.0006. So let's set this up. So paying full attention to our place value, and there will be a video about place value coming up soon. So 0.09. Now again, even though this is longer, it needs to go at the bottom because we're taking this away from 0.09. So units, there's no units. Line up the decimal points nice and straight, and then we've got 3 zeros, 0, 0, 0, 6, and then we have to put the zeros above because then we've got something to take the 6 away from. Right. Nice straight lines, line up the lines. Okay, that makes me happy again. Right. Units column, 0 subtract 6. We can't do because 0 is too small. So we need to borrow. And again, there's nothing to borrow from, so it's chain time. So we're going to take 1 from the 9. That reduces to an 8. Carry the 1. That's now a 10, but obviously we need it over here. So we're going to reduce that by 1. That becomes a 9. And then we've got a 10 there. 10 take away 6 becomes 4. 9 subtract nothing is 9. 8 subtract nothing is 8. 0 subtract 0 is nothing. Line up with decimal points. 0 subtract 0 is nothing. So here we've got 0.0894. Have a go at those practice questions, and I'll see you in the lesson video. If you have enjoyed these videos, like, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. If you're itching to do some more written methods, there's column method addition playlist that you can find on my channel, and there's always short division if you have a penchant for written methods. So, excuse me, so have a go at these, and I'll see you soon.